That's right, the van trip is in jeopardy. Let me explain. I went home recently to hopefully get the van back from the shop, and both of my parents, each in their own way, told me that they think going on this trip would be a bad idea. So what's the deal? Am I some sort of mama's boy? No, I love my parents, and surely they have my best interests at heart. What they're getting at is that the van is not exactly ship-shape, even if it was done at the shop, and it's not. And I'm running out of time. But even if I wasn't running out of time, the van is just untested. It's nice that we had the van because it has a very large area in the back, and my mom needed some drywall for a project we're doing in our house. So she and I loaded up into the van, and the trip just from our house to the store was so shaky, bumpy, and nerve-wracking. The speedometer started jiggling, and it wasn't giving a precise readout of the speed. There were weird noises from the engine. You can understand how someone might say, don't go 1,700 miles on a trip that might take you 5 days. Yes, 5 days. I don't know how long the van can be going at what top speed. And you see, if I want to get to Arizona and back, I can't just take 5 days both ways and only spend 3 days down there. That's just not how it works. So what's this deadline? My second cousin has a winter concert, and I have already pledged to support him by buying a ticket. So I was hoping for some fun, exciting, around the world in 80 days type deal where I speed run back up and then I get back to Madison just in time for the concert. But that leans into the whole fantasy of this trip that I don't know. I've developed this fantasy without thinking it through too much. However, the trip isn't canceled, just the van. I still have my personal car, that lovely Honda CR-V that has never failed me, ever. And the way I see it, I'm still getting 60% of what I wanted all along. It's too cold to stay in the van no matter what, so I'd be in a motel either way, so that isn't going to change no matter which vehicle I take. I'm still going to drive across the country solo, which is a huge adventure in and of itself. I still get to visit my buddy in Arizona, and I get to work remotely the entire time. I think a lot of people think, oh, you're living out of a van down by the river. You know, and it kind of makes you sound like a bum or a hippie. That's not me. I fully intend to be working no matter where I take the van, no matter where I take myself. If I have to use my laptop in the passenger seat of my Honda, that's fine. Or I'll stop at a place that has Wi-Fi. There's a lot of options. So really, the only thing I'm missing on this trip is that I'm not taking this vehicle that I put a lot of love into. However, I didn't put enough time into it. Hindsight's 2020, and there's a lot we learned about the process. If only we could do it again. The most important thing is the math aspect, because you know, your parents can be worried about you, but they were worried that I didn't have a plan, and I said, okay, I'll make a plan. Spun up this real quick report based off of things from my friend from Arizona about his trip down when he moved. By the end of it, I did the math and I thought, well, you know, the maximum number of miles per day I'm getting out of the van, especially if I have to also work, is less than 500. It's a 1,700 mile trip. Anything could go wrong. It's the coldest time of year. It's just not ideal. And I can't go down in 5 days and come back up in 5 days. Again, that concert I mentioned is on the 16th. So I need to get down there quicker. It's just not gonna happen. Not to mention, the day I'm recording this, it's still not back in the shop. That last component, the shop's just so busy. There's no room for us to come back in and get that component installed. So mathematically, it's not gonna work. Safety-wise, it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna go down in my Honda. Am I disappointed? No. I wanna throw in there, this is gonna sound crazy, but this is an opportunity to talk very briefly about my favorite game, Pikmin. Super general gist of the story. Dude's going on vacation, crash lands on this planet. The way the game works is that he has 30 days of life support, and he has 30 components of his ship he's got to fix. You'll notice he needs to fix up a vehicle, and he has limited time to do so. Now, the fun about games is that when I first played that game as a child, I didn't succeed. I got less than a part a day. I think I got to day 30 with maybe 21 parts of the ship, which, spoiler alert, is not enough. I got the bad ending. He tries to take off and he crashes and dies. Point is, that's prophetic. I mean, clearly I have a relationship with stories where people take a risk and they need to escape and they need to get out somewhere, and sometimes their equipment's faulty and they crash on an island, a planet, etc. And I think a part of me wanted to live that. Every time I've played Pikmin since, I always get all of the ship parts, especially when you know what's going to happen. The first time you play, you have no clue. That's the fun of it. And that was the fun of working on this van. There's a million things I would do better, that I could have started from the get-go with the van. There's a million things that could have gone better, and hindsight's 2020. And the cool thing is, I mean, I can just put the van in storage and try again next year. The dream van journey will just have to wait. We learned a lot. I would do better the second time, and either way, I'm still going. It's like a dream come true, and I'm still gonna vlog along the way. I mean, it's not that exciting to tell you about Kansas City from my Honda CR-V, but still, I mean, visiting Arizona when you're stuck in the cold in Wisconsin, that sounds awesome. Be it you get there by plane, car, or super cool van that you fixed up. So the van story's not over. We're just putting a little winter bookmark in it. We'll be back. And as always, Thank you for being along for the journey. I promise things are going to get even more exciting from here on out, and I'll see you in the next one.